Warning, the following is a salty rant of rambling from me after episode 10 of the 9 out of 10 series. It was funny to me, so enjoy. Maybe with Kana you could have done it because Kana would have mitigated one, but like I said, you really need to get... and I had an Akamanto at the end of that too, so no, that was not going... Maybe this is a challenge all on its own. Maybe one day someone will do it, but True Believer, it is going to be a challenge, alright? If you want to try to get ending A Botanist on True Believer, you could argue, yeah, no, you don't have to, because, okay, let's go. Let me just do this really quick. At the end of the video here, yeah, so start with for fun, threat level increase. Cult, this is normal difficulty. If the game is intended to be played on Cultist, then sure, okay, you can reason out, you could do ending A. Most people, I mean, there's no benefit to doing it on Cultist. You might as well just get ending A on Initiative just to get the unlock, just to say that you did the ending. But yeah, I could see it's doable on Cultist. I did it on Initiate, and you take a bunch of damage. So yeah, and it's totally doable on Initiate. Nothing there. As for True Believer, though, like I said, max stamina, max reason, 13, and he did 4 damage, and you need at least 3. You're not getting this dude out either. You're not even doing the best you can do on a True Believer realistically is just to let him die, which is by just don't cover him, just let him die, just try to escape, quote unquote, which you're not able to do. I don't think there's any RNG to escaping. So I guess this is just a mini review for the Botanist, mystery in this patch, but yeah, there's no RNG, so there's no chance of getting him out. I would it would seem more reasonable that way, right? So let me explain. So there's one option to just drag him out. What is intended, I assume, by what was intended in the design is that you're supposed to cover him because you can spend one turn covering him and then helping him, escorting him out, which is the 2 actions that you're forced to do. You can't fit any more than that. And by doing so, by covering him, you take 3 damage on easier difficulties. Maybe it's 4 here, which good luck getting him out. Like I said, 13 max stamina, 13 max reason. Otherwise, you have to spend 2 turns doing 2 escorts in 1 turn, which causes him to take 3 damage. And not you. But overall, and since there's no RNG, like there's no distance variable saying, oh, it rolls this amount of distance and that subtracts from a max distance to getting out, which might have been cooler, or it might have been it would make it possible to do it on True Believer, and it would make it much more likely to do it on Cultist. On Initiate, you can do this no problem. So for just even getting the ending C, I believe, where you don't abandon him and getting out, you have to cover him 3 times basically. If there's no RNG, you have to cover him 3 times, so you're taking 9 damage. But then you escort him out the other 3, and he survives with 3 HP. But on True Believer, you're taking 9 damage, and then assuming you're healthy enough to be at 13, if you don't have to cover him 4 times, which is if you can't cover him 5 times, obviously you're dead on True Believer. Yeah, but I think it's 3 right now. You have to you have to cover him 3 times, and then you escort twice on the other 3 turns. So you have to escort him a total of 9 times apparently, and there's no RNG, so you can't do it in 8. There's no chance of doing it in 10. There's 9 if it's stable amount of quote unquote distance you travel to escort him out, which means yeah, you're forced to take 3 hits if you do that way. For ending A, on the other hand, you're forced to take 3 hits anyway. You're forced to take 3 hits, and if you don't kill him in 1 turn with the flamethrower, which I don't think is the case, I think you need at least 2 turns to kill him with the flamethrower, even though the flamethrower does like 15 damage and is amazing. Yeah, no, if he does 4 damage, you're not making it out unless you kill him on the same turn you get the flamethrower, or after you get the flamethrower, because you take 3 to 4 damage to uncover his face. We just saw that. We just saw me take damage from doing that. You take 3 to 4 damage cutting your way out, and getting out, because he attacks you on the turn you get out, and then you get damaged again because you have to do a van search, which takes a whole action, and you can't even brace or dodge. So you're taking at guaranteed 9 damage because he does 3 damage, and he does a max. And I took 4 damage that run, so that would have meant he does 12 damage. And so I would have to have killed him with the flamethrower in that same turn, which means it's not possible to do it on True Believer, and that's without Fire God too. So yeah, there's my rant, kind of. I mean, to me it's just funny, but like, you see it, right? You see what I'm talking about, right? It's gonna be a challenge on True Believer. I want to see someone do it, and let me just see if it's like, you're not doing this on average. You're not doing this. You're not even doing. If I do it a 5 out of 10 challenge for doing True Believer with Botanist, you're not doing, unless, like I said, you're forced. If on a True Believer run, you're forced to do Ending D. You're forced to, because you don't. When you do Ending D, you don't take any damage. So if you run into Botanist on True Believer, no man, you take either. You might take Ending B. Okay, Ending B is the next best thing, because at least you can kill. You might have a chance of killing him there, because all you do is you take the damage uncovering him and then you kill him, right? But if you want to make your run have the highest chance of surviving that run, you just leave him to die, right? You just leave him to die. You try your best to escort him out, but you won't be able to do it because you need 9, and you're not able to. He takes 3 damage per turn, and that's just not enough to get him out. So yeah, so that was the end of that run. Do I want to just start out? I mean, that was my first death in this 9 out of 10 attempt on version 9.13. But yeah, this is why. All right, if you're curious, no, this is why I'm not going for ending A, and you're not going for ending C. You're either going for ending B, killing him if you wanna like, if you have high hubris and you're like, oh, and then you beat him, you're like, yeah, at least I killed him. Ending B. Otherwise, no, just go ending D, because you have a high chance of killing yourself on a True Believer. And I think I might be one of the only people running True Believer runs in this fashion, because the reason why I don't. Okay, so just extra thing, just to make this episode whole. I don't like doing the 9 out of 10 challenge with the customized playthrough, because, you know, I like that random factor, but otherwise I would just pick, you know, the character that I think would. I personally like Miku most of the time for very obvious reasons. Your Doom is probably going to be high in True Believer, so getting this extra strength. The downside is that she's weak in the beginning. Or I would go Moriko for the free gun, or I think my next choice, because normally people stray away from Haru because you're forced to do SIGs. Aiko's well-rounded. Kirie is kind of well-rounded as well. Koji is meh. High perception, but there's not a lot. I mean, if you pick up a gun, it's fine, but yeah, I prefer Miku or Moriko. And then obviously you have you can choose not to go ill-fated. I mean, I guess that would be hard mode, just have 9 out of 10 ill-fated runs, but then... And then, yeah, you also get to choose which god you pick. And most of the time, you can Spider God. I think Spider God's the hardest, because on a True Believer run, when you run into the wrong enemies, there's no way of surviving. You either pick up the katana in your first 3 investigations somehow, or you pair Spider God with, because some people having the ability to choose your backstory with the god also helps you out, because then you could just choose funds. You could choose 7th Curse with Spider God. That way you're like, oh yeah, it's easy, just because you get extra funds. With True Believer you get no funds, but 7th Curse gives you 4 funds, and that's enough to go to the shop and get a weapon that you can defend yourself with. Try doing that on an ill-fated Spider God run, where you fail every event, and you can't run from encounters. And if you run in, heaven forbid, you run into a ghost encounter, alright? Itho 2 is kind of balanced now that they've changed it so that both your damage and the enemies increase, but this, like I said, this increasing on a True Believer can make it so that it breaks your enemy's threshold in terms of they can kill you in 2 instead of 2 turns instead of 3. Or 3 turns instead of 4. You know, this is a fun god to play with. Towering Eye is also a fun god because it allows you to play with casting spells costing Doom instead of Reason, or spells that cost Reason increase Doom instead. So anything that costs Doom or Stamina instead just costs that. But yeah, this is a fun one to play with. And then Goizo is awesome. Goizo or Mirror is a very I think it's a very fair god too, because it allows you to rest less, and basically it's plus 2 Doom extra than from what you normally do. So that's why I kind of consider him more fair. Spider Gun, on the other hand, one, ghost encounters. Two, if you roll, granted, yeah, the counter quote unquote counterplay to this would be to use police station and lower the amount, but one, we don't know the amount it lowers, and two, it's a 50-50 flip anyway, unless it lowers it to near zero or like only, in my opinion, limiting the amount of encounters. Like say maybe it increases the limit of encounters in one a mystery to one would be more fair. But I mean, I'll play with this too. Like I don't mind getting Spider God. I'm just saying it's a bigger challenge. And anyone who tells you otherwise is either not playing, one, not playing True Believer, two, is not playing Seventh Curse with it usually, or three, they just, like I said, you get Katana early on, and then you get heals early on with Katana, which would be amazing. Yeah, but then when you, and you can also argue, yeah, that's part of the RNG of playing a Spider God. Like I said, I think Spider God could be patched to make it a little easier, but just don't nerf Spider God all the way. But yeah, this, yeah, it's challenging. It is challenging, especially if you like to play how I do and quick play True Believer. Granted, like, and then you can keep going on. Yeah, the game's not intended to be played on True Believer. It's just for challenge. And then I can't agree until a statement comes out where it's like the game is meant to be played on Initiate, or it's like I understand, because then it would just be me challenging myself on True Believer, and but if it's, but that's few and far between, and that's why I'm kind of laughing, because there's gonna be a True Believer Plus mode, and like I said, you can mitigate the RNG and the difficulty of it if you do not do a quick play, if you go into customized playthrough, because you get the choice, and that ultimately, if you have that choice, why would you make it harder on yourself? If you have the choice, I know what I like. I personally usually like custom playthroughs if one, I'm just unlocking things, or two, I want to play around with like math and stuff like and whatnot, and just get into it. If I going in terms of having fun with the game, for me personally, and I know it's just a personal thing. Like I said, you can argue either way, and I understand any argument in terms of maybe I'm just being a big weenie, just a weakling that I can't usually get to Spider God, but I've succeeded with Spider God before, so. But yeah, this, I don't know. That's just my review for patch 0.9.14. At the end of this 9 out of 10 challenge, where I died the first time. So yeah, yeah. So I mean, this might be interesting. Just ill-fated spider run. I might do that one day just to challenge myself. But and not just one run. Like maybe it's two runs in a row. Three is a little pushing it, in my opinion. I don't think you yeah, you don't have a high chance of surviving. But yeah, and that's just the thing. This is like kind of like a roguelike game, and it's RNG based. So I mean, I can't really complain. And but that's just kind of my opinion on the matter. So so yeah, that was just me dying first. The first point on my very first run of my 9 out of 10. Maybe I'll die my very next run. Maybe I'll get 9 in a row. But that's how I like to have fun. So if you like this video and you're willing to listen to me talk about basically the balance, just the gameplay and the design of, especially a botanist, as it pertains to botanist, then feel free to comment or keep watching. Yell at me, tell me how my strats are really bad and how I usually forget things that I should remember and I'm not really experienced on the game, or just keep watching. I hope you enjoy, because I'm still having fun. So that's I think that's important. That's one of the most important things. So yes, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again watching this or commenting. Thank you.